Welcome back to my channel and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen. I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach who has lost 140 pounds, and today is part 1 of my Q&A. I posted on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook and said, ask me anything. Everything goes, no holds barred, good, bad, ugly. It is time for an updated Q&A. I recently just hit 60,000 subscribers, and my subscribers have grown pretty substantially over the last few months. So thank you so much for everybody who's recently found me, who's subscribed. And I know that there's a lot of new people with a lot of questions. So I wanted to do an updated Q&A, and I received so many questions that I'm actually breaking this into 2 separate videos. Today I'm going to answer all of the questions that I received on YouTube and on Instagram, and then part 2 will be everything in my Facebook group. The majority of the questions came in my Facebook group. I have a large, free, supportive Facebook group, so come on over and join us. And so I'll answer all of those questions in part 2. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. Turn your bell on because I upload new videos 5 days a week. And stay tuned for part 2. So subscribe. Make sure your bell's on so you don't miss it. Down in the description box, I will have nutrition coaching. Highly, highly recommend those personalized macros and calories. That is what I followed to lose and maintain my 140-pound weight loss, as well as one-on-one coaching for questions, accountability, or to talk with me directly. Links, discounts to my favorite things. Anything I talk about today, if I have a link for it, discount, I'll put it down below for you. Thank you for using my links. It really helps support my family, supports Lola, supports my channel. So thank you in advance. And I'll have my free Facebook group. Again, come join us. We would love to have you. So let me pull up YouTube and let's get started. Received a ton of different questions, everything from weight loss to personal life to nutrition. I mean, a plethora of different questions, which is really, really great. So the first question is, since I'm a new subscriber, here are things I would like to know. Stories about your tattoos. I actually got this question, I think, more than once, was what are my tattoos? What do they signify? So I actually have quite a few tattoos. I have a half of a sleeve here on my left arm. It has roses. It has a sugar skull. And then it says La Vie est Belle, which is life is beautiful. And then right here it says 325, which was my highest weight. So I had that put into my tattoo as a constant reminder that I never want to go back to 325 pounds. And then the one on my forearm right here is a Day of the Dead skull. This is actually a cover up. So when I was married before Troy, I had my ex-husband and my initials put onto my arm. Him and I both had matching tattoos. We're not going to talk about that. Don't ever do that. So anyways, I had that covered up with this beautiful piece. I have a skull and rose on my back shoulder, my shoulder here. That was actually the first tattoo that I got in Vegas. I got it with my friend Jenn in Vegas over 20 years ago. I have a tattoo on my left ankle for my dad. It has a heart and the years that my dad was alive. My dad actually passed away 13, almost 14 years ago at the age of 64 from a massive heart attack. So I got a tattoo for him. And then on my right leg towards my ankle, I have some flowers. Now I'm getting another tattoo. I'll actually be getting a tattoo when I go to Hawaii here in just a few days, right here on my arm, matching with my friend Rachel. I'll show you that in an upcoming video. What was the lowest point for your weight loss? So the lowest point for me, I don't know if she means like why I started losing weight or while I was on my weight loss journey, but what made me begin really focusing on my weight loss, which was at the end of 2020, moving into 2021, is I saw a picture of myself when my husband and I took a little trip for our anniversary. I will pop the picture right here for you. And I got in the car and I said, I'm changing my life. Starting January 1, this was in November, mid-November, I'm changing my life. I'm losing this weight. I don't want to go through menopause at this weight. And what I did in January of 2021 is started eating enough calories for my current weight and activity level, made sure I got in my protein every day, and lost 90 pounds in 2021. And since then have lost 140 pounds. So that was really the breaking point when I decided I had to make a change. What made you decide to become a certified weight loss coach? coach. So once I started seeing success in my own weight loss journey and really started deep diving into nutrition and what is really the most sustainable, well-balanced way to lose weight, I got really, really interested in helping others reach their weight loss goals. And I have been a weight loss and nutrition coach for almost 3 years. I have done thousands of people's of macros. I have many, many clients who have lost well over 100 pounds. I have people who have changed their lives, changed their bodies, changed their relationship with food. And that's exactly why I became a weight loss and nutrition coach. And it also helps me stay on track and helps me maintain my healthy lifestyle. Honestly, best decision I've ever made. And I cannot recommend personalized macros and calories more. That's what I followed in 2021 to lose my 90 pounds and my 140 total. And I do offer that as well as one-on-one coaching where you get to talk to me and ask questions and use me for accountability and support. I have recipe ebooks. I have a lot on my website. So I'll put my nutrition coaching website down below for you. What is the one food you hate? Oh gosh, I don't know. I guess liver, and I say liver because my dad was obsessed with liver and onions, and he would always order that when we went out to dinner, and it always grossed me out. I would say liver. I don't really hate a lot of foods. I like most foods. I'll try just about anything, but liver, I'm not interested. Will you get another dog after any of your current babies cross the rainbow bridge? Whew, this is a hard one. I'm looking at this picture of Diesel right now. No. We won't be getting any more dogs. The loss of Diesel 2 years ago in March was the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life. It was very traumatic for me. Having Lola diagnose my baby, my soul dog, my heart dog with cancer the month before Diesel passed away. She, thank goodness, has been through 3 rounds of chemo. She's in remission. She's doing really well. But just knowing that I have to go through what I went through with Diesel 2 more times, it's too much. Troy and I made the decision that it's just not in our future. We love dogs so much, but it's been very hard on us. And it's just not something at this point. I don't know, that may change down the road. I doubt it, but it may. It's just not something that we can go through again. Okay. How long have you and Troy been married? I could go on and on. Thank you in advance. You're welcome. So Troy and I got married in 2017. Yes, 2017. We met in 2015. So what? We've been married now for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years in 2025. So this November, in just about a week and a half, will be our 7-year wedding anniversary and 9 years together. Both Troy and I were married before. So we are not our first marriages, but it's crazy that we've been married almost 7 years already. Any tips on exercise in extreme hot or cold weather? I'm moving back to Utah and we have both. Yes, I have come from drastic different climates. Troy and I moved to Arizona almost 3 years ago and it's a hot climate, from Spokane, Washington, which had all 4 seasons. So I've exercised in winter, spring, summer, fall. Now it's pretty much hot all the time, or the majority of the year here in Arizona. You have to find activities that are weather related. So when it's nice out, when it's warm out, when it's sunny out, when it's not raining, snowing, sleeting, or hailing, go outside, do an exercise outside. And when it's too hot or too cold, find an exercise that you can do indoor. I recommend the Trainwell app. It's the app that I use for all of my strength training workouts. I love my coach. I've been using it now almost a year and it is so good. Customized workouts. It shows you the moves in real time, corrects your form in real time. You have a coach assigned to you. It's like having a personal trainer without paying for a personal trainer. I do have 14 free days with Trainwell. I'll link it for you, but you've got to find an exercise that you can do, different exercises you can do throughout the different climates. How do you figure out if you're following your 80-20 rule? Is it per meal, day, or week? How can you tell if you're hitting the 80-20? Thank you, love your channel and your positivity. Thank you, and you're very welcome. How I figure my 80-20 is it's not an exact science. So for me, I do eat out every Saturday. So I figure that that's going to be a big chunk of that 20% when we go out to eat. And then I usually allow myself some type of treat or treat meal during the week. So I figure between those 2 things, that's about 20% of my diet. So I kind of base it by the week, not necessarily by the day. And on a day-to-day basis and all of my other meals, I just focus on eating good whole real food. It's not an exact science. You just want to allow yourself flexibility to live your best life and to have fun food as part of your weight loss journey. Do you like to read? If so, what books have you read recently? I'm not a reader. I am not a reader at all. I don't know if I just don't have the attention span to be a reader, or I just feel like I'm too busy to be a reader. I'm kind of a TV watcher. I like to watch YouTube. I like to scroll TikTok versus reading. I will say that if I do read, it's typically health, nutrition, or self-help related, but I haven't read a book in I don't know how long. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start reading. What dogs have you had in your lifetime? Oh gosh, quite a few actually. I never had a dog growing up. We always had cats, but when I was married to my first husband, we had a couple of different dogs. We had a husky and a Pomeranian. But as far as dogs that I've personally had myself, it's been the dogs that I have now. It's Diesel, my lab, Lola, and Palmer. Those have been the dogs that have been my dogs as an adult. I actually got Diesel as a puppy. I rescued Lola from a shelter when she was less than a year old, and then we got Palmer as a puppy as well. Have you thought about doing a published recipe book? I bet it would be a big hit. I have actually. I have thought about publishing an actual like hardbound or softbound recipe book. I just don't know what's involved in that. And I do have my recipe ebooks. I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. They're only $15 a piece, so they're super affordable. Those are on my nutrition coaching website, so that's linked down below for you if you're interested. I could see myself potentially doing this in the future. I don't know how near of a future that would be, but I could see myself publishing a book potentially in the future. I just have to really figure out how to do that. I know my friend Nikki at Nikki Gets Fit here on YouTube published a cookbook. I actually bought her cookbook to support her, so maybe I'd reach out to her to get some ideas. Let me know, is this something you guys would be interested in? Did you have any suggestions for breaking a weight loss stall? So if you didn't know, I actually have this channel here. I have a beauty channel and I have a nutrition channel, and my nutrition channel is all nutrition. And I've actually done a couple of videos on weight loss plateaus on that channel. I'm gonna link those videos for you. Speaking of that channel, please subscribe if you're interested. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm this close. Like, that's one of my goals on my vision board. So if you want more nutrition content outside of just food and recipes, definitely subscribe to my nutrition channel. And like I said, I will link that video because there's a lot of really good tips in that video on how to break a plateau. You have a period of time on your journey when your weight loss stalled for weeks or even months. Yes, I did. When I was strictly following Weight Watchers, and you guys, this was when I was over 300 pounds. So this is at the peak of my heaviest weight. My weight either stalled out or did a lot of this for months upon months upon months. That's what prompted me to look into calories and macros. That's what really started that whole thing at the end of 2020. And when I started counting those in 2021 was because my weight was just stalling out. I wasn't really getting anywhere. I would lose, I would gain, I would lose, I would gain. And honestly, I figured out it was because I wasn't eating enough on Weight Watchers. I was in such a severe deficit that my metabolism had slowed down to accommodate that deficit. And that's when I decided to make the change. And I will tell you, from 2020, following Weight Watchers, to 2021, counting calories and protein, I upped my calories by almost 600 per day. No warning. Like, I went from 1,300 calories a day to 1,900 calories a day and lost 90 pounds in 1 year. So I was able to correct my metabolism. And since that point, I have not stalled out at all. That's another reason why having your macros and calories done is so important, to make sure that you're in a deficit, but not too severe of a deficit, a healthy deficit for weight loss. When tracking macros, is it necessary for fat loss to enter all your own entries into an app for success? I do measure in grams whenever possible, but convenience items, I just scan and go. So if it is a scannable item, then yeah, I would just scan it and have it log it automatically. But if it's whole food that isn't a scannable food, like rolled oats or fruits or things that you can't scan, then yes, you need to enter them into your calorie tracking app. You also need to scan in foods and make sure that they're being tracked as well, because you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. So we need to make sure that everything you're eating outside of non-starchy vegetables, I don't track those. I don't recommend tracking those to my coaching clients. Everything else does need to be tracked and accounted for. I've heard your body can only use about 40 grams of protein at one sitting. Is this true? What happens to the rest? Does it go to fat? Is it excreted? My very favorite video you do is Wednesdays. We get to spend more time with you. Thank you. Oh, that's one of my favorite videos too, because it's a little bit more in my life. You get to know me a little bit better. So the whole thing about protein is actually a myth. Now, I will say if you have kidney issues, you have to watch the amount of protein that you're consuming overall and at each meal. Now, they say, and mind you, there's different information about this, but it is pretty commonly said that between 30 to 35 grams of protein is what's recommended per meal. And basically what happens if you eat more than that, it's not going to turn to fat unless you're in a calorie surplus, then yeah, it's going to turn to fat, but that would be the same with carbs or fat, right? A calorie surplus leads to gaining weight. As long as you're not in a surplus, the extra protein you eat is just excreted through your kidneys. That's why if you have a kidney related issue, you got to be a little bit more mindful of your protein, but don't panic. If you're eating more than 30 grams per meal, your body is going to process what it needs and get rid of the rest. How long did it take for you to lose 140 pounds? So it took me just about 2 years to reach my 140 pound weight loss. The majority of that weight loss came in about 1.5 years. The other half of a year was when I was kind of figuring out exactly how I was going to navigate calories and protein. So it did take me just about 2 years to hit the 140 pounds loss. And then I've since maintained that weight loss for almost 2 years as well. What ethnic background are you? Just curious, you have darker features but bright blue eyes. I actually get this a lot. Funny thing, my mom and dad both have black hair and blue eyes. And in fact, when they were dating in college, everybody thought they were brother and sister because with the black hair and the blue eyes, which is luckily what I got as well. It's kind of a unique combination. I do get asked a lot about my ethnic background because people think I'm some exotic ethnic background, when in reality, I'm pretty much fully German with a tiny bit of Indian, so I don't really have any exciting ethnic background to speak of, but I actually get that question a lot. My husband was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. We have been following keto low carb since the diagnosis, and he has pretty much eliminated the high A1C to normal. Do you have any suggestions or thoughts on what's best for those watching their sugars? I'm not a huge meat or high fat eater myself. I want to transition myself to lower fat intake, but trying to figure out what's best is daunting. There's so many options, it confuses me. So if you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or if you're just trying to watch your sugar, make sure that you're really limiting a lot of processed foods, because that's the food. Processed foods aren't going to have the nutrients, the fiber that regular whole food has. So it's going to spike your blood sugar. It's going to cause the same effect as if you ate something sugary. You really want to focus on your carbohydrates being whole grain carbohydrates that actually have some fiber and better yet some protein. So things like rolled oats, sprouted bread. When you are consuming carbohydrates and you're watching your sugars, you again need to make sure that they have some fiber and better yet some protein. And if you want a sweet treat, lean on fruit. Fruit has naturally occurring sugar, yes, but it also has fiber. So it really slows or eliminates that blood sugar spike. Just be mindful of ingredients. Watch those ingredient labels. If you get your macros done, is it hard to track them? Is it an app that you use? Also, do you ever have a week of not feeling motivated to track them? Thanks for all you do. So I track my macros in the Lose It app. I find that to be the best app. It's accurate, it's easy to use, it's affordable. I just pay for a full year and it's about the price of 1 month of Weight Watchers. So really, really affordable. It has a barcode scanner, a recipe builder. When I share macros with you for my recipes, I built them all in the Lose It app. So it's really all encompassing. It's the only calorie tracking app that you need. You will need to go in and change the macros that Lose It gives you to the macros that I do for you. All online calculators, all of them. All of them. Lose It included are not accurate. So make sure you change them to the macros that I give you. And yes, there are plenty of times that I don't want to track my food. I'm kind of in a phase now, in a stage in my weight loss where I only track my food a few days a week just to kind of keep myself in check. But yeah, I definitely went through phases where I didn't want to track. And when you don't track, just be mindful. You know the foods that you need to eat to get to your goals. So just focus on those foods, even if you take a little bit of a tracking break. Can you give simple tips on meal planning, please? So I don't know if you mean like prepping my meals or planning what I'm going to eat. So all I do, honestly, is sit down once a week, find the recipes that I want to make, put together a grocery list, buy the groceries, make the recipes. That's pretty much what I do. And when I figure out the recipes that I'm going to make for the week, I automatically go into Lose It and go into Weight Watchers and figure out the points, calories, and macros so that I can easily build those recipes into my day. or if the calories, the fat, the points are too high, I can make modifications to have that recipe fit into my week. So my recommendation for easy meal planning is take a little bit of time one day per week and plan it out. Do you cook a separate meal for your husband? My husband doesn't like any healthy food. He's mostly a meat and potato guy, so it's hard to fix meals. No, I do not fix different meals for my husband. If I make something that my husband doesn't like, doesn't want, then he just kind of fends for himself. I do make sure that I have food available to him. Especially, you see me buy a lot of the chicken fried rice from Trader Joe's, those frozen side dishes from Trader Joe's. We always have frozen pizza in the freezer. So he has options if what I prepare for my meal isn't something that he wants to eat. I do also ask him what he wants for the week. So you see, we eat BLTs a lot. We eat tacos a lot, pot roast. Those are things my husband really likes. But our husbands are adults. And if they don't like the food that we're eating for some reason, or they just, that's not what sounds good to them, they can always find something else to eat. I just make sure that I have that something else available for my husband. So those were all of the questions on YouTube. Let's run over and answer the few that I got on Instagram. The first one is, what are you most excited about for your new home? So if you didn't know, my husband and I are building our dream home, the home that we have literally worked our entire life for. We are having a new home built in Arizona where we currently live. Actually, it's 8 miles from our current home. It's in a beautiful luxury community with a golf course, lots of amenities. We have a beautiful mountain view. We cannot wait. We are in the framing stage of our house, so things are starting to pick up. It's starting to look like a real house, which is super exciting. But I would say that honestly, the one thing I'm most excited about is sitting outside on my patio with a mountain view, and we did splurge on an outdoor fireplace as an upgrade. I just want to sit out there and relax and enjoy the quiet and the peace and the surroundings that I can't do where I currently live. This is just more of a hustle bustle type of community where that's a little bit more laid back community. I would say that I'm excited. That's what I'm most excited for, alongside decorating. I love to decorate. I can't wait to go through that process with you guys. But I would say overall, I'm most excited to just enjoy the home I've worked my whole life for. Not a question, but would love to see another hair tutorial. Your hair always looks great. Oh, thank you so much. I do actually have a hair tutorial here on my channel where I curled my hair. I used my little bedhead waver. I'll link what I used. I just bought it on Amazon. If you guys are interested in this look, I can definitely do this in a future video with you. But thank you. I'm so glad. So let me know if you are indeed interested in additional hair tutorials. Can you do a day or week of crock pot recipes for the fall season? Yes, I got you. That was actually on my agenda when I get back from my trip to Hawaii. So towards the end of November, going live in November, the beginning of December, I want to do a multiple crock pot recipe video, including a dessert, a side dish. I want to make a bunch of delicious crock pot meals to share with you for the cold weather months. Plus, we know how busy the holidays are. So if we have quick, easy crock pot meals that are healthy, yes, yes, yes. So yes, I will be doing that video. A while back, I thought you said you would share the story of your tattoos and weight loss. So I did already answer that. I let you know that I added the 325 to my arm to signify my highest weight and how I never want to go back to that. How do you handle the negative comments and maintain your positivity? I'm assuming you're talking about on social media. I will tell you, when I first started YouTube, I didn't really get a lot of negativity until my channel had grown quite a bit, which I know is very, very normal. And now my negativity goes in spurts. And to be completely honest and transparent with you, pretty much the negativity that I get, it's pretty much about my makeup that I get the negative comments. I wear too much makeup. They don't like my makeup. They wouldn't do their makeup this way. And I used to respond, and now honestly, I just delete the comment and hide the user from my channel. On YouTube, you can't block people. They can still watch your videos. They just can't comment. So if there's someone that's really negative, especially if you're giving a comment about someone's appearance, I'm just gonna block you and make it so you can't comment on my channel anymore. And speaking of that, it is completely unacceptable, rude, disrespectful to comment on someone's appearance. This is my face, and if I want to put 50 pounds of makeup on it, I will. It's not that serious. It washes off at the end of the night. So to comment on someone's appearance, I find that to be really, really disrespectful. And what I want you to know, and really what I think about myself, and really I would never leave a negative comment anyways, but if I was tempted, what I would think about is, would I go up to that person in real life and say that? Would you come up to me in real life and say you hate my makeup? chances are probably not. I can pretty much say no, you wouldn't. So you don't want to do that on the internet. Don't be a keyboard warrior. A lot of people struggle with their mental health, and maybe that one mean comment you say can put someone over the edge. I personally don't want that on my back. I have just learned to brush it off because hurt people, and really someone's opinion of my appearance is really not my business and is really irrelevant to me. But when it's blatantly rude or about my appearance, it's just not something that I'm gonna take to heart. Do you plan a calorie cycle at the start of each week based on events, or do you eat the same calories every week? So I actually calorie cycle every single week. Like I mentioned, Saturday is the day that I go out for dinner, out to lunch. Troy and I usually do something on Saturdays. That's typically a little higher calorie day for me. So I will make sure that I save some calories for the weekend because that's when I typically eat more. So Friday and Saturday are really the days that I go out or there's events or parties that I attend, and calorie cycling is extremely easy. All you do is take your total calories each day. So let's, for easy math, say it's 1,000. Don't eat 1,000 calories, don't do it. But let's say for easy math, it's 1,000. 1,000 times 7 days in a week is 7,000. Let's say that on Friday and Saturday, you want to eat 2,000 calories. So you're going to take 7,000 minus 4,000, leaving you 3,000. And then you're going to divide that by the remaining days of the week. In this example, 5. And that way you're able to eat a little bit lower calorie during the week, eat a little bit higher calorie on the weekend, maintain your calorie deficit, and reach your weight loss goals. So for me, I actually calorie cycle every single week. It just depends on what I have going on in my life. During the holidays, I have more high calorie days than random days during the year, so I just plan accordingly. Tips for staying consistent, especially in the early morning. I have to say, if you are not a morning person, working out in the morning is probably not going to be something you can consistently do. If you're not a nighttime person, working out after work is probably not something you're going to consistently do. I am a morning person. I have always been a morning person. Fun fact about me, for 12 years I owned coffee shops, several of them, and I would be at work at 6 a.m. So I have always been a morning person. I am the most productive before noon. So I know that about myself. So when I'm setting up an exercise routine, it's going to be primarily based in the early morning because that's when I'm most productive. My wonderful, lovely husband doesn't get up till 10:30, stays up till 2 a.m. He's more productive in the afternoon or the evening. He would probably opt for a workout class that was in the evening. So you've got to find what works best for you and your schedule, your sleep schedule, your waking schedule, and then put it on your calendar. Make it like it's a doctor's appointment and do it consistently, and eventually it will just become a habit and second nature. I don't even think about my workouts. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, boot camp. Thursday, Saturday, gym. Sunday, Tuesday, rest day. That is just my life. It's my cycle. It's my schedule. It's penciled into my schedule. Tips when routine is broken, holidays, lack of sleep, etc. This can be really hard. And this is coming from someone who is extremely type A, someone who's extremely organized, who's extremely routine. I have definitely gotten better as I've aged. I used to freak out if my schedule or my routine changed. And I've learned that, guess what? Life's gonna happen and there's nothing I can do about it. And when your routine is broken, find a way to regulate that broken routine. So maybe you didn't get enough sleep, so maybe that's your rest day. And then you exercise on your normal rest day. Maybe you're on vacation and you just can't get to a gym. Just try to move your body a little bit more. Park further out in the parking lot. Take the stairs instead of an elevator. Book a tour that requires some movement. Find ways to get your normal routine into your broken routine the best that you can. So those are all of the questions that I received on Instagram as well as on my YouTube channel. I have a lot from Facebook. So like I said, that'll be part 2 of this video. Let me know down below, hopefully I answered your question if it came through on Instagram or on YouTube. Thank you so much for leaving your questions. I'm sure it helped other people out. I'm excited for part 2 of this video. Let me know down below, what types of videos do you want to see from me moving into the next year? What types of topics? Let me know down below. If you have any questions for me, leave those. I will do my best to answer them. Make sure you're subscribed, your bell's on, so you don't miss part 2. Give this video a big, huge thumbs up. Check out the description box. I will link everything we talked about today. Nutrition coaching, trainwell, it'll all be down below for you. Thank you so much again for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.